Thank you so much for sharing your Wednesday afternoon with me. I am JB Bryan of JB Bryan Financial Group, a registered investment advisory firm, and the home, I see y'all, the home of AfroEconomics. Yes, indeed. I appreciate you all so much. Today's topic, I love it. I love it. I love thinking positive. I love thinking about talking about positive stuff. So if you catch me being negative, please help me, pull me out. You got to be around positive people so that you can always have a positive mindset, a positive mind. Like, think positively. Because I tell you, a lot of who you're around makes a difference, huge impact on your attitude. I was looking at something that it looked like the screen froze. Thank you, Lord. Keep us connected. But I appreciate this. The reason that shook my heart is because I appreciate your time. How you doing, Queen Howard? Thank you so much. Let me see if I can put that. I can put that up so we can see the comments. Hey, it is a great day. It is a great time. This is a wonderful time to be alive because God doesn't make mistakes. So he has us here on purpose. You see that design I have in the back. The brother has on the AfroEconomics t-shirt, but I'm covering it. Let me see this. Yeah. Somehow like the streaming software took out like the regular background. So I was just like going through these different backgrounds that I had. How you doing, Vicky D? Look at that. That's pretty. That kind of blends with my shirt a little bit. What y'all think? It is an amazing day. I don't have on black today. I need an applause. So we're like, yeah, she's not wearing black. Yes, indeed. It is. But I think, what you think, Snoopy D? You like this background? When I was a kid and we would have art, I would draw mountains all the time. They just seem like the easiest thing maybe to draw. Positivity rules, Tracy. That's right. I'm going to put up. I'm going to see if any of you have the heart. I'm going to put up for members a link. I'm going to see how I can do it. I'm going to put this link right here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. And if anybody wants to come in and ask specific questions about this billionaire mindset that I'm going to make sure that we talk about, I'm going to share these billionaire tips, because I know personally, I know for a fact that if you hit that link that I just sent, you will be closer to becoming a billionaire than you've ever been in your life. And I'll tell you why once you hit the link. We got to hit the link. But if you hit that link while I'm doing this live, thank you. If you hit that while I'm doing this live, I'll tell Ryan that it took down my own background. Then if you hit this link to come in here in this box, then I'm going to tell you why you are on your way, very close, might already be a billionaire just because of taking that, just because of hitting that link. Isn't that something? But somebody's got to want to be a billionaire bad enough that they hit the link and then they come in and I can say it on air what it is that you got. So the billionaire mindset, and we're talking about it from a financial management perspective. That's what I do. Uh-oh. Well, let me see if this will help. Miss Crumb turned her camera off. You're not a member of AfroEconomics. So you're disqualified. I can't bring you on air because I don't know who you are. But these women that were talking to me, I know who they are. So, Miss Crum, please go to afroeconomics.com, sign up for Afroeconomics, and you are going to be a step closer to being that billionaire. Now, I remember when I first started my business, it was about millionaire mindset. We're going past that. We were going past that because our mind needs to be on greater things. There's a lot of things that are said that get into our mind and start to limit us. Like, a client sent me a video that a lady had, and she was saying that billionaires, this is the mindset she thinks that a billionaire has. She said billionaires are making the stock market drop. Billionaires, because billionaires want the stock market to drop. Now, I'm thinking, to myself, like, when anybody says anything like that, they're under the assumption that billionaires don't have any assets in the stock market. And how many billionaires do we know that doesn't have their own company, really, that's traded on the stock exchange? Now, I can appreciate that she's saying, no, I don't know. She's just being negative. But the true point there is, as we discussed in the members meeting last week, that every time there's something on sale, it's a buying opportunity. So even if it were real estate and the person really into real estate, and this property that they've been following, they know that that's a good price for that property. If you're an investor, if you're thoughtful, if you're intelligent, I see you. I don't know what you got struggling. You struggling, girl, but I see you. I see you trying. I know you want to be a billionaire. I see it. I see the struggle, and I appreciate it. And I just keep turn on that camera, turn on that camera, and I'm going to tell you the secret. So the billionaire benefits from any market that's struggling because an intelligent billionaire is looking for good investment opportunities all the time, no matter what they are. And I try really hard, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Green, good to see y'all. I try really hard to focus on spending on investments. Spending on investments. When I spend money, I want it to be an investment. When you get your groceries, it's an investment in your health unless you buy crappy food. Then you're destroying your health with the money that you're spending. Buying crappy food is not an investment. So the smart investor, if they know that some of the things on the stock market are good investments and they're on sale, yeah. But what I'm saying? You don't have to necessarily be a billionaire already in order to appreciate that. Ms. Davis, you are the first billionaire for today. And can you hear me? See, that's what it keeps doing. Her signal keeps going out. I'm gonna bring her back. I know she's a fight. You're a fighter. Say something. I see you smiling. You're a fighter. That she is. You want to be a billionaire, you got to be a fighter like that. You got to keep trying to hit that link. So, if anybody that's just coming in, I sent out a link and you may be able to see it in the comments in whatever form you're looking at. And then it has a link from the host, and that allows you to join in and get the quality of the billionaire. And why you coming in and hitting that link, if you're a member of AfroEconomics, because unfortunately, I don't feel safe like just letting anybody on. I gotta know we're safe. But that so okay, Miss Davis. I don't know if it's gonna work this time because I'm trying to tell you the secret. And all we see is your square this time. I see your lovely face on the other side. So you remember the video was saying that there's a lot of negativity associated with billionaire. So until you accept in your mind that it's okay to be a billionaire, we're not going to have the billionaires that we need to have. I saw one lady who probably was quite wealthy. She said, see, I think also, yes, you have a lot of credit for trying. We'll give you credit for trying, but trying is not good enough. You got to make that happen. So I feel a lot of times they're picking on billionaires because there's so many millionaires that they can't, they have to pick someone else to pick on. So the majority of negative people picking on billionaires, then it made me think about, wow, that's really what you want to be. That's where our aspiration should be. Why are we limiting ourselves? Right? Miss Davis, I hear something. Say something. Say it.
Okay, hello.
There you go.
Good
Look at
afternoon.
look at that. Look at that. You get credit for succeeding. And the reason that do you see that? I put that link up. You are the only person who wants it bad enough. That is that same want that has had you working two full-time jobs for all these years. That is that same desire to have more than you ever dreamed of having. And that is the drive. That is the fearlessness. That is the motivation of a billionaire. Everything about you represents billionaire. Everything. Your generosity, your desire to help others, your mindfulness about your money, your management of your money, your determination to to stay healthy because getting sick will slow down your wealth.
Yes,
That's a blessing to know you.
agreed.
It is a blessing to see a grown woman trying hard. You could have retired a long time ago. There are people retiring in their 40s, people retiring in their 50s. We see these people our especially our community. If you look at the numbers, the Black community retires a lot earlier. Did you know that?
No,
You didn't know that, did you?
mm, I
I never
didn't.
talked about
No.
that before. But yeah, we tend to retire earlier. And I think that a lot of it is because we tend not to be the boss. I mean, I'm using because I'm just like, why wouldn't we retire early? You know what I mean? Why would we retire so early? But I think that you retire early because we're sick of it. Sick of being told what to do, sick of not being the boss. Like, so you found a lot of people in our community were like, I wouldn't have retired, but then they wanted me to come back into the office. See what I'm saying? So they didn't want to go back
Mhm.
into the office because they don't want to answer to nobody. See, but in order to be the billionaire, the billionaire, we're gonna need to make sure that we're fearless about whatever is coming our way. But a billionaire knows that change is going to happen. Things are going to happen. So we're constantly, and I really am committed to how I actually manage everybody's portfolio is to think of them as a billionaire. That is their goal. They want to be a billionaire. Now, everybody is not the same as aggressive, but for some people, keeping their money and their money being safe is billionaire status to them because they know they'll never be broke. So it's everything they need. Now, some billionaires, Miss Deloach, I mean, it's, I don't know. I mean, you get an A minus. You get an A minus. Like she gets A plus. She gets A plus. You see this woman, you see Miss Davis in the car, struggling, no signal and everything, and you just comfortable in your mansion, looking all pretty and everything. Look at that. What you think, Miss Davis? Definitely
Oh,
million.
hello, Mr. Lowe. How are you?
Don't try to be nice. Don't try to be nice. Get it. A minus. A minus. A minus. Y'all are
It
go
was a
getters.
struggle trying to get in here. It
It
wasn't
was.
easy. I had to keep trying.
What? Yeah, look, Miss Deloach like, yeah, it was, girl. I was, girl. I didn't know where to sit. I was trying to get, I was trying to figure out which room I wanted to do it from. Look, Miss Deloach like, yes, it was hard. It was hard. She's like, leave me alone. But but Mr. Loach and Miss Davis, seriously though, there are things that you all both have in common that you won't know that you have in common, but those are the things that give you the billionaire mindset. That tenacity, that stick to itiveness, that creativity, that determination to have a balance. Like it's like, okay, people don't think of it, but billionaires, many of them have a balance. They do have values. They do have, the love and the time that they want to spend with their family. And then I've noticed, like, sometimes when people want to put me down, like, say it might be a guy that's interested in me or something, he'll say things like, you work all the time. I would ask you out. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And when I was younger or didn't have the billionaire mindset, that would bother me because I'd be like, dang, my work is stopping me from going out with someone. You know what I mean? It's like, who ain't gonna do shit for me anyway? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I'm like really, you sad and everything. But now, as my mind has graduated to legacy and like and self-respect, it's like, yeah, yeah, I do love my work. I I don't think of like work. Like, it's like, yeah, I love my work. Like it just and I love the fact that you all feel comfortable enough for me. Like if something happened on a Saturday, you all would text it to me and not have to worry about, oh, I'm not gonna talk to her because it's a Saturday. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't I don't think that that's a lack of balance. And I have a wonderful relationship with my daughter. No, and she's always been a priority. And because I have my own business, I was able to have her in my office because I had that billionaire mindset. I had a nursery upstairs in my office, and my daughter has known me from day one. Even when I was nursing, I go upstairs, nurse my child, go back to work, and have it all set up. I know, Lone Wolf, you're like, they talking about nursing? Nur- This is real life important billionaire stuff, sustenance. But billionaires have family values. That's what I'm saying. Like I feel that because society has decided that they want to think of, people who aspire to greatness, to build their own, I don't know of a billionaire who doesn't have their own brand, their own. They own something. They came up with some idea, no matter how simple it was. Like Amazon, was just a book website. And then look at everything now. Amazon gets some money from me at least once a week. There's something I need to order. I got some hurdles this morning when I was driving out. And every time I want something, especially if it's Lord, that ugly doll. What's wrong with that doll? You got that. Billionaires are known to have ugly dolls. What doll? You scaring me. Did you see that? Miss Davis got that ugly killer looking doll. Did it come from a movie or something? Did you see? You didn't see it, Miss Dilla. Oh, okay. I should have made it. Let me see that doll again. I'm gonna make
I
it
thought
big.
I sent you the picture of this.
Oh my goodness. Look at him.
That's yeah, that's Chucky. He goes up in the sunroof.
That's a violation.
That's a
A
violation.
violation of what?
You don't
A
know, but it
violation of what?
it is a
Cuteness.
violation.
Of
Especially if
cuteness.
it goes up in the sunroof. You know what she gonna do? It's gonna look like the thing is closing on the little boy. That's terrible. Like he
No,
don't
it's
have,
supported.
like he don't have enough problems. So characteristics of the billionaire: visionary, ambitious goals, foresight into market trends. That's why billionaires would buy in a market that they feel still has a long term future because they have foresight into the market trends. They have a tolerance of volatility. They have they have a desire even for risk. They have a desire to take the chance, start your own loan with firearm training. You know what I mean? Go ahead and do something, even though everybody's saying, oh, no, 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 no. You know, but we know every time something goes wrong, everybody's saying, I need some training. I need protection. I need something, you know, but you have to have the foresight so that you're not listening to those who are right in your near sight. And they they know how to calculate risk. They know how to be adaptable and love. A great one. They know how to pivot and know how to pivot. They know how to stick to their values. Like I'm saying, you know, don't allow someone to make you feel bad because this is the particular goal that you want because they feel like you're not spending enough money. You know, sometimes, you know, we'll give each other a hard time because you'll say, you know, you got money, you need to spend that money. You can't just, you know, that, but you have your mind on this is something for the future. This is something I'm building. This is something that I want to create. You have your mind on the prize. So when someone complains that, oh, you work all the time, like, you know, to me, it's like, well, then they don't have the billionaire mindset that I have. I want to make an impact on the world. I want to make a billion impact. I want to empower a billion people. I want to make the world better. You know what I mean? And that was my vision. And it's hard to explain how many people said, you know, it's a crazy vision. Black people don't have any money and there won't be any money. And I can't, sometimes I should just sit down and write out how many millionaires I've been able to build. But if I had given up on that vision, it wouldn't have made things any better. But now we're going past the millions and we're going into a billionaire mindset. But can you imagine that you're not liked because you're a billionaire, right? I don't understand where that came, you know, where that stereotype came from that these billionaires somehow, you know, benefit from our demise of a average person. They want you to go down. But then you see stuff like that lady I said on TikTok who said the billionaires are crashing the stock market because they're the only ones that can buy. That is the most ridiculous thing. If they're crashing the stock market and you know that, then lady, you should be busy buying. And you're sitting there making a TikTok.
Mm.
Or you can do both. You can do your TikTok, you can still invest. What we should have said, well, what's stopping you? What is stopping you? It's like, you know, the people who get so fascinated because their neighbor got a new deck. The neighbor got a new deck. And instead of trying to figure out a strategy, if you want a deck and you think you need a deck, then why don't you work on how to get your deck? How does them having a deck, anything, bother you? Where does that mindset come from? I believe that the chances of our success is much better if we all get successful together. If I help you do better in every capacity, every aspect of your life, if I help you have more of what you want, then, that's billionaire status. How many people can you add value to their life? That's why we know of Amazon. That's why we know of a Tesla. That's why we know of all of the big companies that were started by an idea. Only reason we know is because they added value to people's lives on an individual level. I saw a commercial today, and Shaquille O'Neal pulled up to these people, and Shaquille O'Neal has like that big Tesla that like is like looks like a metal box, like I guess they might call it the truck. And Shaquille said, "What's up, cyber boys or whatever?" Da da da. And they were like, and then look at what they. I don't know. Now that I think about it, it was probably a paid promotion. What you think, Lone Wolf? They probably, because I don't see. I don't know. And then because there was a camera in the car of the people who he drove up on, ready to
That was paid.
ready to record Shaquille O'Neal. So I
That-
can't give them that. I can't give them that. Nah, they corporate. That was corporate.
yeah.
But they were like, it's so true. But look how easy that is for us to just think this stuff through. Because that's that billionaire mindset. Wait a minute. I was watching an ad one time. I mean, no. It was not what it was not an ad. It was a picture of Kim Kardashian's sister in her underwear and some Calvin Kleins and a watch and a so and so. And she was announcing that this black guy had got her pregnant. So she said, "Oh, I'm so excited. I finally am having a baby. I wanted to have a baby all my life." And, she was naked and she was showing her not pregnant, but, stomach yet. And they were like, "Oh," and he was like hugging her and he had on this nice bling watch, right? So my daughter was like, "Look at this. Isn't this different?" I said, "It's an advertisement." She was like, "What?" I said, "It's an advertisement." I was like, "Look at the hashtags below. Calvin Klein, so-and-so watch, this, da, 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 da." You know what I'm saying? I said, "Nah, they were paid for that." But that's that what? Billionaire mindset. Shaquille getting paid. Kardashians getting paid. Billionaire mindset. They were doing it because they wanted black folk to calm down. Like, you could blow up a Tesla, but you could be blowing up Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to kind of do that. Like, it's all in like what they're trying to, and they wanted that. I'm surprised they didn't put the name of the fertilization doctor on there with the underwear ad. That'll be next. That'll be next. Billionaire mindset. They're looking for a business opportunity in everything. We've been socialized that that's not right. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Mr. Loach, I know you want to tell me that ain't right. Tell the truth, Mr. Loach. You don't think that's right. You don't think it's right that they every time they're trying to advertise to us all the time, correct?
Yeah. All the time.
It's irritating. But I think that the key to it is that we have to understand it. The sad part is that they're doing it to our children. My baby was little. So like, it's like, even though they might say, well, it wasn't for kids, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
you still, you kids are looking at it. That's who's, doing it. But having those type of worries limits us. It limits us. There was like,
See,
I think like Kim Kardashian got sued one time for 200,000 because there was some crypto or FTX or something she promoted. So the Securities Exchange Commission fined her 200, but she made over $1 million for doing it. An $800,000 return. I mean, come on.
See, we may, JB, not have been socialized to think past that. Not that we don't think that far, but we may stop on the 50-yard line versus going all the way to the 100-yard line when it
Yeah,
comes to
yeah,
that kind of thing. You know.
yeah.
Um,
And the sad
mhm.
part is like that that why are we so, when we're doing business, we feel like we have to exploit one another. Like you'll bring your grandma and something into a multi-level marketing thing. That's no good. When it would be much better to just bring your grandma into your own business. Why do we believe in everybody else's concept more than your own? Like if you believe in crypto, then come out with your own coin. And then
Mhm.
a person who in a limited mindset gets mad because our current president has his own coin. Now, is that to be hated or respected? And we have to get past like hating someone because they're willing to do something you're not willing to do. If it's illegal, yeah, that's horrible. But we're not talking about stuff that's illegal.
mm.
We do things to each other that are illegal and end up broke and everybody else broke. Do what is right. Do right by each other and build wealth
Mhm.
together. Become billionaires together, doing the right thing. If you don't like what they do, then you do it better. That's why I started JB Bryan Financial Group, because I was investing and buying insurance and stuff, and they kept trying to rob me, telling me crap. And I said, this is horrible. I literally did it because I was like, somebody has to save us from these crooks. I really thought, I was like, why people got to lie? And no, I do not want to go out to lunch with you to buy a mutual fund. It was just like, let's stick to the point. I just want to buy a mutual fund. You trying to get to know me. Come on. Not that way. But like we can find things like that, and it could be exactly what God wants you to do. I'm telling you, because I was it took a lot of faith for me to do that. Their billionaire mindset involves having a lot of faith. Those of us who believe in God, we should be taking the biggest chances because we know we have the biggest protection.
Mm.
If He bring us to it, He'll bring us through it. It is truly the grace of God to get to 30 years. I remember when they were slamming the door in my face. Now businesses call me to get my business. We can. So the having I want to go. So remember, we were talking about characteristics, visionary, ambitious goals, not just simple goals. Like if I really like that saying where it says if it doesn't scare you, you know what I mean, then it's not worth doing. We need to do more things that scare us. No, they're very strategic. Wealthy people are very strategic. What do you think I mean when I say that, Lone Wolf, Mr. Johnson? What do I mean?
I think they're more like they're visionaries. Here it is. So I think billionaires, they're like great inventors. They live in the future, but they occupy the right now space. That makes sense. So they're strategic in their purchasing, they're strategic in their planning. You look at Elon Gates, he's very strategic and he takes chances.
Mm,
Um,
mm. Yeah, they're not like we might look at it and say, "Oh, look at him. He just did that." Oh, like I was saying about with the underwear and announcing the baby and I'm pregnant. You know, they made probably a half a million or more off that
mhm.
picture. Yes. Yeah. So I see your point. You know, you just your text just came through. Many people are indifferent to money. They will pick up $1 on the ground and walk right past a penny. I know that's right. He said, "Get it all, get it all."
Yeah.
What
Mm,
what it
not me.
You get it all? Yes, you will.
Not
Yes,
me.
you
I will
will.
pick up a penny. I'll pick up
Yes, you
five of
will.
them. I don't care
Yes,
how
you
many.
will.
But
They,
JB,
you know,
you're right when you're saying about the whole believers aspect. We should be even more
yes.
about that money because, even the scripture says the Jesus said the poor you have always. It's like a poverty mentality. Because I
Mm,
think riches start in the mind. The billionaire
mm,
mindset, the
mm,
millionaire mindset, it starts in the mind. And many
mm,
people don't know how to
mm,
shift in their
mm,
mind. So
mm,
that's
mm,
a challenge right there.
mm.
Poverty starts in the
Yes.
mind.
Yes. And you see that on the news,
Mhm.
they go, "Oh my goodness. Oh, did you see the stock market the other day? Oh my goodness. Like, what about the people that retired? Like, oh my goodness, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do?" And you know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah. And then they just sit around, yeah, not one financial advisor in the
Hmm.
mix. They're just over there scaring people to death. So someone at home whose mind is not positive, they're thinking, yeah. And then they talk to me, and it's just like, well, do you need all your money today?
Right.
No. Well, how about, do you need all your money next year?
That part.
No. Well, no. Okay, okay. Do you need all your money, every dime, 2 years from now? Three? Come on, tell me when you need it all. Right then. I want it all. Tell me when, and they go, yeah, 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 yeah,
I,
yeah.
I saw a post
But the
that someone.
overwhelming majority of people don't have a financial advisor, so they can't even relate to what I just talked about because they don't have anybody. They don't have anybody that's going to pick up. You know what I'm saying? They don't have anybody to talk to, and there's a lot of research that shows that people who have financial advisors do better, especially during volatile markets. They're less likely to make extreme decisions.
Mhm.
Like, and I'm not to say that you know, some people still don't make bad mistakes, but I do think that the research is right that it does help to have someone to help you to talk you through it,
Hmm.
to help you stick
I
to
saw
your own plan. Hmm.
I saw a post on Facebook. I think maybe it may have been Friday, and then
Hmm.
it actually was my cousin putting something out. He says, "Oh, 401ks have gone in the toilet," and I thought, wait a minute. The way that the line goes, it goes up, it drops
Hmm.
down, but it goes back up, it drops
Exactly.
down, it goes
There you
back
go.
up, it drops down, it goes back up.
I hope you
It's
didn't
going to
say
rise
nothing.
again.
You didn't say nothing, did you?
I said it is going to rise again, and then I
You
went
should know.
back
Well,
later
you can
on.
say it because you're not licensed, but I wouldn't say nothing. I would just keep right on going, hope that they sell out so that when you reinvest your dividends, you get them prices. Just keep on, just keep on. I see the most ridiculous stuff online, and I don't say anything. Anything. I
Okay, but
don't
wait.
say it. I had to teach myself to do that though. Don't say nothing. When somebody being stupid, leave them alone. They want to be miserable. They want to be
But here's
miserable.
what: the cousin that posted that, he
Ain't
doesn't
even
have a
no.
401k.
Mm.
He
What did
doesn't
I
have one.
just tell somebody this morning? I said the majority of people up there talking about the stock market don't even own a stock. The
That part.
overwhelming majority of black folk don't own stocks.
That
So
part.
what are y'all sitting up there talking
And
about? This ain't this, oh my goodness. Oh, but
and
look,
to him,
you just keep
to
going. You
his
just keep
being,
going.
just unfortunately, he had an accident, and so he's on disability. If he ever did have one, I know he doesn't have one now because he's needing every dime of his money just to survive. But he put
That's
out
right, Kevin.
401ks going down in the toilet. I
Exactly.
said,
That was so good. That was so good at him, though. You know how much play he got off that? He probably got some women
uh,
inboxing him and everything. How you doing? How you doing? Your
well,
money all right? Your money, your money all
I
right?
think. when I went back, I think last night there are like 20 comments, and all of them were like, how sad they were. And then the
Yeah,
other thing is, okay, so I tell you about the people at my second job, and so
this
a
Deloach.
couple of them said they have gone and taken all of their money out of the 401k that they had done it some prior to this happening. They went ahead and took theirs
Oh,
out
they said,
anyway.
they said, yeah, I'm so smart. I got mine already. Exactly.
No, not that. No, they took it out and used it for BS and stuff like that. So
Oh,
they
oh,
just have taken it out. Now the contributions they're required to make, and I guess after the tank builds up to a point,
yeah.
they just go snatch it out. But that's
Well,
what
you're
they're
not
doing.
required. You ain't required to make no contribution. Not in the 401k.
Well, I thought I thought at
When you
some
get
point, like
into
when you
that,
first start, don't they
no,
make you
but
open it
that's
up
not.
when you
But you can immediately tell them turn it off.
oh see, I didn't
That's
know that.
just
I'm just
it's
saying I've
what
never touched mine in the first
corporation.
place. So
Yeah, exactly. You always been doing it. So that you found out like now they have like they'll do make them do 1% or whatever when they do that. But what that does is help corporate because they have reduced the top heavy requirements for corporate because of the automatic participation. And they've also given corporations, and this is not the Trump administration, this was done during the Biden administration, that corporations get a tax advantage for the 401ks that they automatically force them to participate in with no match requirement. So they're going in, they might, put them in there when they start so that they
mhm.
get the benefit. They say, well, we tried. And all they got to do is stop it, you know. But what the top heavy provision means that before this law was changed, and during the last administration, you could not let the richest people of the company benefit the most by the 401k. So if the people on the bottom weren't participating, then it would reduce the amount that the top people could put in.
Okay.
That was
Oh.
called the top heavy provisions. The new law said we're gonna be lenient on that shit. If you try to get them in and they don't want to be in, it's on them. Yeah, don't hate the player. Exactly, Mr. Jackson said. Though we should learn that about everything. Don't hate the player. Don't even hate the game. Really, just make sure you win.
But I will say, if it weren't for the work plan, if it weren't for the work plan, not just myself, but many people I know that I know as well as I feel like I know wouldn't have near as much money put away. They just
That's
wouldn't.
right.
They wouldn't be
That's
able,
right.
you
That's
know, they
right.
yeah, because and it's taken away before it actually hits your hand physically. When it does
That's
that,
right.
all
That's right.
Louis
And,
Vuitton and
and,
Gucci
and
and all of that
yes,
shit, all of
yes.
that. And
Oh, you gonna
you
get
know,
it. But Miss Loach, come over a little bit to the side. I don't know why I can't see you. Come over here. Come to your right. Let's try right. Come to your right. Oh yeah, yes. Come on. There you go. Look at that. I got your face in this or your face in the place. Come on over a little bit more. I guess you can't see. You can't see how we see you, can you? Oh, she trying to hide. I think she trying to hide. Or she trying to hide.
I think
No,
Billionaires,
so
I
too.
had a call.
girl. Oh, billionaires are bold. Billionaires are bold. But yeah, you had a call, so she was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, you billionaires are busy people." I know you got to take that call. Exactly. You told him. I know you told him. Look, JB is like calling my name. I better go.
I'm
But
off now.
Miss Deloach is going to Egypt this year.
All right.
oh
We
wow,
can't. We
all
can't
right.
wait. That's the great. That is great. I know. I know.
My lifetime trip.
A lifetime trip, and that's just the
Yeah.
first. That's just the first
Yep.
of the lifetime. There's gonna be many,
Hmm.
many more. Many,
Yep.
many more. One day we all are gonna take a trip. We should. Y'all put that
No,
together. Put it together. I just need somebody to organize it. I think Lone Wolf should organize our trip. What y'all think? It would be
That'd be a
great.
great idea.
Exactly. And we will go and we will make sure that you can have first class You can get your own. You just get it together. You gonna have your own room. You ain't got yours. Will be all expense paid. That's all we can guarantee. That you ain't gonna have to spend no money. That's all we can pay. That's what. But we will make sure that you. But you're gonna have to guide us on all the tours. You're gonna have to make all the women feel special.
No problem.
You can't bring a date. You gotta be by yourself. Unless
Yep.
I have a man by then. Now, if I have a man, then you can bring a woman. But other than that, that's right, Miss Howard. Miss Howard, we all decided. We got rules for our tour guide.
Yep.
So we bringing no woman up here. Oh,
Mr. Lowe,
unless she's a
Mr.
member.
Lowe,
She can be a member. She can be a
Yes.
member.
I have a question, and I'm not trying to get too deep into your business. Are you going like with the tour, or are you going like kind of by yourself?
I'm going with the tour. Dr. Akur, I think
A cool.
he's in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
That's
He
so
comes on
good.
Carl Nelson, or do you know?
Yes,
Mm,
yes, he
Okay,
does.
okay, okay.
that's so
Quite
cool.
a few of them. Dr. Broader, quite a few of them go.
Tony Brower, and yes, it's
You mean
quite a few.
you mean
Okay, oh,
Chris?
cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's not gonna be not. It's gonna be when we go to Africa. It's gonna be like we're gonna call it Juan Johnson AfroEconomics Tour. It's gonna be like the Tony what's his name, Tom Joyner. It's gonna be like the Tom Joyner tour.
Oh, all right.
We all wear Afro stuff. Exactly. You mean like the Tom Joyner Africa. We gonna be dancing
That's
and
right. That's
everything.
right.
It's gonna be like something y'all never see. Look at
I'm
Miss
gonna try to
J.
find a shooting range too.
Shoot.
Exactly. We're gonna go to big places in Africa. We're gonna come in like royalty. They're gonna be like, wow, that's Afroeconomics.
Hmm.
They're from America.
They're
This
gonna
will
see
be
dollar
good.
signs. They're gonna see
They're gonna
dollar
see
signs.
They better see Miss King wants to go. Miss King wants to go all the way from Florida. Miss Howard wants to go. She's in Pittsburgh. We got people all over the country already. I know we can get California to go. Come on, Barbara. Are you out there listening? We're gonna have people from everywhere. They like my rules, Mr. Johnson. Nobody said don't say that. You see, nobody said because you know they would tell me. They'd be like, JB, don't say that.
I'm checking the chat, JB.
Let that
You're right.
let
Nobody
that
said
man
that.
let that man have no. God is good. So the billionaire, as we close, it's very strategic, and that's what Mr. Johnson, was saying. Like, we don't want to just do things. We want to have a rationale for everything that we're doing. We want to prioritize investments in whatever we're investing in, stocks, real estate, businesses. We want to prioritize and make sure that it's generating income, that it is appreciating. So many times, that's right, Ms. Anderson. So many times, I'm gonna become a billionaire from you, Mr. Johnson. I'm gonna get you out there.
That's
he,
right.
gonna, he gonna be like, JB, you can't use me this way. Yes, I can.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Use me.
Billionaire.
Use
She
me.
became a billionaire from her trips,
Mm.
from her travels. her
Yes.
travels.
Yes.
That's right. Use me up. And but yeah, strategic, and make sure that as a billionaire that we're accumulating assets, accumulating things that will actually pay the
Hmm.
future income. That we're not focusing so much on debt unless that debt is strategic.
Hmm.
So we
Hmm.
hear a lot of talk about leverage, but we're leveraging a residential house where we live. That's not leveraging. That's just debt. When you leverage something, it's something that you're using so that it will grow, but also create income for you right now. So if you're doing an investment property and it's got a renter in there and you know how to estimate the income for it, that's leveraging. But when you take the equity from your house, your residence, and then you put it on that's not leveraging. That's putting yourself at risk. No. So a billionaire mindset would be to bring in other investors. You don't have money, bring in other people that have money. And a lot of times will hate on people. For example, Donald Trump, that got to his biggest assets by bringing in other investors.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is, they make money too. And then sometimes people will say, but he lost a lot of money. That's part of that's part of it. That's part of, I don't like to use the word game, because then we don't take it as seriously. But part of business is you're gonna win and you're gonna lose. That's why we diversify. See, all we think is that, like, we looking at it small-mindedly, where he can have 5 or 6 buildings coming up, 10 at one time. It's hard for me to even imagine all that kind of money. But you got all that, and one deal go through it, and we still talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's only because we have not been encouraged to think about it's going to be some losses. Some things are not going to go right. Some people are not going to be happy. Some people are going to quit. Some people you're going to have to fire. I think that was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, was when I had to fire somebody. But I was like, if you're going to own this business, you're going to have to learn how to get people out. You can't just bring them in. No,
Jay,
so,
I want to say this about people who are wealthy and millionaire or billionaire mindset. Again, like I said before, wealth starts in the mind. You got to see everything around you in the terms of abundance.
That's right.
I mean, I'm talking about just, you may have maybe 5, 6 suits, but
Right.
look at your cabinets. It starts off just by, looking at everything around you
That's
from an
right.
abundance perspective, because you
Ooh,
can't be a billionaire and don't think about abundance, how to make money on
yes.
things.
Ooh,
Yeah.
beautiful. Because you got to feel like you deserve it. Like
And you deserve it. Yes.
we'll say things like, I don't need that much.
We'll give it to somebody else.
Exactly. You still gonna get it, right?
You still gonna
To
get
give
it.
it away. To
Give it to
go
somebody
get it and give it
else.
away. That's so true. But instead, though, use that as an excuse to not perform as high as possible.
And that's
You know,
why the scripture says, the poor you have with you always, because it's a poverty mentality.
so true. Is way before us.
Yeah.
Is way before us. And then we have to think about, when are we self-sabotaging?
Mm.
When are you allowing people too close to you that have that mindset? Because you can't help someone that doesn't want to be helped. Like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? When somebody says to me, well, I can't date you because you work too much, they need to not be talking to me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I need not allow that type of stuff into my mind. No, but people will adjust. How many times have we, man or woman, adjusted because of other people's issues, their problems, their insecurities, with your billionaire mindset? And it holds you back, and you don't get your time back. You don't get that. The most valuable thing we have as a millionaire, billionaire, or broke person is your time.
And JB, I think you said earlier about billionaires invest in themselves.
Amen. Yes, I did. Everything
They,
is an investment.
yeah,
Our
yeah.
groceries, that's what I was talking about. Like I was saying, down to your groceries, your
Well,
personal training,
they study money.
everything, your trip to Egypt, all of that is an investment. You
Yeah,
need that for your mental health. You need
yeah.
that for, you want to grow, you want to learn. You can turn that in. By the time she goes, I'm going to have her turn that into a small business. You want to watch that.
Right.
Because you know what I'm saying? Because she's going to be going around and telling other people and taking pictures. And that all of a sudden becomes a business expense
Mm-hmm.
versus just a luxury. You
And
know what
JB,
I'm saying? Like
and,
we don't see ourselves as the enterprise that we deserve to be.
but guess what? You just said a major word, and it's just 3 letters. C. Most
Amen.
people can't visualize themselves as millionaires or billionaires. You got to see it in your head first.
Amen. Amen.
You got to see
Amen.
yourself
Amen. Amen.
land
I,
in money.
I
Your
told my
your
I
stocks
told
going up
I told my trainer this morning. I said, I'm gonna be hurdling by the time I'm 60. She
because you
said,
see it.
she
You
said,
see it.
she said, we'll see about that. I said, I am I got hurdles in my garage, but I ain't tell her, because I said this would be too much. I don't want to overwhelm her all at one time. But this
Are,
grown woman
are they
is
like?
going to be hurdling.
Are they training her like little small hurdles?
No, But these collapse. They collapse if I touch it. They collapse. But I got to learn. I got to learn. And, look, and they allow you to just higher and higher.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
guess to you it would be training her.
Okay, yeah, trainer her. Because I mean, I'm just imagining you doing that hurdle. I'm like saying, no,
yes,
JB,
yes.
not go,
Yes.
no.
But this whole, like, I have, like you said, but it's about the vision.
The
I
visualization.
decided, y'all know when I decided that I am going to be an athlete.
But
It
guess
wasn't
what?
long ago. I can show y'all some pictures of a fat woman. That's all I was a fat woman. I had no idea I was fat. When I look at it, I go, oh my God.
But
I was
JB,
a
watch
fat
this.
woman.
You just said another key word. You decided.
I'm going to be an athlete.
Most of these
I'm
people,
going to be a millionaire.
they
I'm
haven't
going to be a
decided.
billionaire. I already am.
That point right there.
Thank you.
That's why I'm
But
here.
I remember when I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I wasn't, and I said, I am going to do this. Now I'm headed to the next level. That's why this is about billions. I don't want you to be no less than me.
That part.
But somebody don't want to be around you.
That's okay. They can watch me as I go up. They can watch.
Thank you. But you got to learn how toxic that behavior is.
It is.
You find yourself running around with people who are always talking about the end of the world. Things are going to end, and these people are out here trying to kill us. And that's the stuff that gets into our young people's mind, and they have to carry knives, and they killing people. I'm telling you, because somebody had that little boy terrified. If he was told at home, you are freaking Superman, can't nobody kill you, you ain't got to worry about that. You know what I mean? You good. But instead, I know for a fact he was told, bro, you better take this shit. Because somebody's out there trying to kill you. You see what I'm saying? That's what we are told. That we are supposed to be broke. We ain't gonna never have nothing. They are after us. They out to kill us. They don't want us to have nothing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who they are. I don't. And I don't want to meet them. And I don't hang with them.
They are distractions.
They are distractions. You see what I'm saying? We don't need it. When I'm watching TV and they're going too negative, I turn it off.
Yeah,
all I want to do is focus on the facts. I didn't ask for your interpretation, where you think everything's going to end, because I've seen it over and over. I remember that first time, and the news was talking terrible about Trump. Terrible. And then all of a sudden he won. That same news station, they said, looks like America has its first billionaire for president. I said, oh my goodness. Did they just not change from talking terrible about this man to all of a sudden this within 5 minutes? He's never going to win. This will never happen. Blah, blah. This is the first time. And how many people probably counted it out this time? And what are we looking at? We need to be thinking as Black people that maybe I gave up on something too quickly.
Most have.
Yes. Maybe I didn't believe in myself, because I'm telling you, I had nobody at home that told me I would ever be in business this long. They all thought it would never work. They all told me it wasn't working. There's the only people that look like me. The only feedback a white person ever gave me about my firm was, I like you. You don't have to just focus on Black people. A lot of white people would invest with you. That was really a compliment. They didn't tell me I wasn't going to make it. They just said, you're cutting off your market.
Facts.
I said, if I don't, she was trying to help me. I said, but if I don't focus on us,
who will?
We don't understand. They don't exist. I don't see limits in you. My whole future depends on our success. That's why they don't have people talking like me on regular television, because they do not want Anybody positive coming on there telling Black people you can do anything, we can be anything. They take your job, we can get another. I can help you get another one. I told you about the little girl. I told her I'll double your income within this year. She quit, got out of AfroEconomics, did not want to have that responsibility of being successful. And that's the truth. Most people cannot take the responsibility of being professional, being successful. They can't handle it because then they would have to be accountable. Then you would be responsible. Do you know how many millions of dollars I am responsible for? That's why I don't drink. I don't smoke. That's why I work out. That's why I want to hurdle. That's why I want to jump. Because they said people that jump live longer. I want to jump for y'all. All of it is about longevity. Everything is about longevity. Yes, Queen Howard. Yes. I believe in us. And you don't see that on TV. You don't see that on TV. Not everybody's trying to scare you to death about your Social Security. I promise you, I will go to the Capitol my damn self. If they ever try to take your Social Security, I will jump through the window. Ain't nobody taking your Social Security. They just not. You should be asking for it, though. We should be getting all our money back. But none of us, I don't know anybody that's lived so long that they drained the Social Security, they got all their money back. That's sad. If we realized how much money we leave on the table because we live less than everybody else. And we sitting there mad and worried about Social Security. If anything, we should be pressuring them about the return on our investment. We put 15% for your whole career. Went into there and you getting a $2,000 check. Oh my goodness. If I was putting that in an investment account, everybody be a millionaire almost. Whoa. So y'all know, billionaire mindset, positive mindset. You can do anything. Wake up every day and tell yourself that. Listen to that. Tell your kids that. Most importantly, even if you don't think you can do anything, make sure the next generation knows that they can do anything and be anything and go anywhere. Mr. Johnson never thought that he would grow up and be a male role model and a supermodel for women. He never thought. He never thought that he would be an event planner, and a successful male model, supermodel, right? He's going to be known. You're going to be known all over. You're going to be on Essence magazine. You're going to be at Ebony magazine.
I embrace all of it.
You're going to be trying to act like you don't know us, but we're going to be in the back. All three of us. We're going to be right in the back.
All the coins.
The women who got you where you are. Tom Jordan better watch out.
Look, I'm seeing it. See, as you're talking,
Thank you.
I'm visualizing this.
Thank you. I see you. I see you. You have like this beautiful room, immaculate room and everything.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Host and our host, Juan Johnson.
And I'm going to smile and say thank you graciously.
You're going to smile. And we're going to listen. And you're going to get us a spa day together.
We're
going to do everything.
Yes.
We're going to do that thing.
Even give you some spending money. Right. Give you some additional spending money.
He going to make sure our glasses match because y'all know I ain't going to do none of that stuff. I'm be like, look, just our glass is a glass. He's like, no.
Oh, no.
The glasses for these people, it must match. Black excellence. That's right. Double Omega. No. Black excellence. That's right. Double Omega. That's what you got. I love y'all. God bless y'all. Stay positive. Talk to y'all soon. See y'all Friday. Bye-bye.
See you Friday.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.